Hey, what up, family? It's your boy Joe Mill here, back with Killer Miller Q, and today we got an easy cook for you. I'm firing up the old Weber Kettle grill. It's steak night here in the Miller household. We got a beautiful piece of meat. I got a nice prime Cowboy Ribeye. We're gonna be doing us a brown sugar bourbon steak. Hold tight, let's get to it. Check out this beautiful piece of meat we got here the day before. This is a cowboy cut ribeye, bone in. This is prime, looking at about 2.25 pounds. Pretty much only thing I've done so far is pat this thing dry. And from there we got some kosher salt put to the side. I go with about 2/3 of a teaspoon per pound. And we're going to cover this baby heavily all over. And we're going to be sliding it over and throwing it over here on this rack and a plate, and I'm gonna throw this in the refrigerator, and it's gonna sit uncovered overnight. There it is, all layered up. Got that good old-fashioned kosher salt on there. I'm using Morton's, which is normally known as more of a saltier salt. I pretty much gave it a little bit of a pat in, but you can see we got us a nice crust of salt all the way around. I've been wanting to try this on a steak, as I just did it for the first time on the prime rib for Christmas. But basically that salt is going to dissolve into this meat and basically give us salt all the way down to the bone. So I like this one, especially for these thick cuts of meat, so I want to try it out here on this old cowboy ribeye. This is going to sit overnight, like I said earlier, in the fridge, uncovered, just like you see it. Day 2, check out this old cowboy cut ribeye. It's going to be a good steak night tonight. Just pulled it out the refrigerator. I flipped it upside down. You can see that skin nice and webbed up. Still got a little stickiness to it. Not a whole lot of Epsom salt, or Epsom salt. A whole lot of the kosher salt that I got to knock off of here. More or less, you see a little bit of it in the fat cap. Most of it absorbed pretty well into this meat. So I love that rich color that it gives you. I will knock that little bit of extra away, but we're gonna see how good this works with this nice thick cut of meat as far as salting it all the way down to the middle. So what I'm gonna pretty much be doing is also give you a peek at how much moisture came out of there. Not too much, but a little bit you can see. But the majority of that moisture is locked. We're going to get rid of that, and we're going to go ahead and get this baby all seasoned up. I'm not going to use a binder today. I wanted to let that... Since I got plenty of time to kind of let this come up to temp, I want to give it some time to absorb into these seasonings. And then I'm also going to do a test here sooner or later, but I'm curious to see, do I notice a big difference in the amount of smoke that I'm able to get into my meat by not using a binder and not having anything that's blocking those pores or nothing. But anyway, we're doing this pretty natural today. It's going to be an easy cook. I'm going to be coming over the top, if you always pay attention like normal, with me a nice layer of coarse black pepper so we can get us a nice crust on this baby. And today, we're going to be doing a little brown sugar and bourbon on this ribeye, cowboy ribeye today. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this flavor profile is going to come out. Let me go ahead and get me another plate, and we're going to season this puppy up. This will be sitting out of roughly 30 minutes before we actually going to get ready. I'll let you see what it looks like, and we'll let it chill. Ta-da! There she is, all ready to do the do. I'll tell you what. Like always, you taste them rubs, kind of get an idea of where you're going with this. Obviously, I did this already a night or so before. But this brown sugar and bourbon rub, which I have had for a while and honestly have never used it, it's got a good little flavor to it. It's not super salty. It's got a little heat on there. So I think with my salt and pepper, which I could have left it along with just that, it's going to fill in a lot of good notes. I also like that it's got a nice crustiness to it. So we should get us a nice coarseness to it. So we should get us a nice crusty crust, and it should come out to be great. Now, as far as some of the things that's in here, you got sea salt, brown sugar, spices, including some red pepper, molasses. Overall, this is going to be all right. You got garlic, onions, red pepper. I think this is going to be a nice one to kind of add in here and give us a nice, beautiful steak night. We're going to let this thing hang out, like I was saying earlier, for about an hour. I'm going to eventually start getting my pit up to temp, and I'll bring you back and I'll show you how we do this thing with the reverse sear. Now, normally I don't even bring you in for all of this, but just because it does have some bearing on what we're going to be doing today, I'm just going ahead and I got my charcoal chimney here all filled up with a little bit of Kingsford charcoal professional. And then pretty much I'm looking at about a half of a chimney, and I got a pretty decent sized chimney here that I'm gonna be doing of charcoal. A lot of times if I want this to get piping hot, I'd wait until I see the flame coming up out the top, and that'll let me know when it's time to dump it. I'm gonna let this hang out for about 10 minutes or so and let it get nice and caught, but I don't want it to become completely done because it's gonna probably take a little decent amount of time on our cook, and also I don't want to start off too hot. So there she is after sweating out. It is about time to get this baby over there on that Weber. I got that thing already powered up. And then also, tell you what, quickened thing for you to grab yourself a Sawzall. You know, when I initially got this whole Lone Star grill, I grabbed one on Amazon for maybe close to 30 bucks. Great and a little something to have on the side, man, when you got small branches that you need to kind of break down into some smaller pieces. What I got here is some mesquite. Just made me some small little blocks. I'll be throwing one of those in there when we get started, and we're gonna be giving a little bit of flavor over there on the side. So we got this thing rolling. You see we got this baby sitting over here ready for this reverse sear, indirect. I got my probe in away from the bone. That way we can get us a clean reading. So it's sitting probably roughly right in the middle of this baby. I got all the coals on one side. Over here is sitting on the empty side, so that's indirect cooking. We're reverse searing right now, so we're gonna basically cook this thing nice and slow, get it up to temp. I got my small piece of mesquite wood over there, so I gotta hurry up and close this off, and then we'll be able to kind of monitor those temps from the phone over here on a handy dandy Thermal Pro dual read, and I'll bring you back here in about a half hour. We'll make a turn. Hey team, I want to jump in here real quick and tell you thanks for following along on today's cook. If you're new to the channel, go to that bottom right corner, subscribe, check out some of the other videos you've missed. And for everybody that's been here, I appreciate y'all. Y'all know we rolling like family. We're gonna keep this thing going, but if you haven't, find me on IG, find me on Facebook, and from there, you already know what's up. All right, I just popped the top open. It's about 330 in here on this steak. It's looking pretty good. What I'm about to do is give it a 180 turn, rotate this bone away, and then put this meat side more towards the grill. I've been smoking along here at about 330 degrees. I'm at 125, which for a lot of people would pretty much be about where they want it. I'm gonna be going to about 145, and we'll get it off from there. Now, one other little quick tip that I'll throw in there on how I kind of do mine. Got the thing rotated, obviously, as you can see. Still going indirect. You can see those coals are starting to get low. Every time I open this baby up, I'll take this moment to slip me in a few new coals. So I just added 4 on there, nothing crazy, but that way I always got a little something in here to kind of keep it going. And then from there, you never really run out. You know, you can keep everything going. My chunk's still doing good now that I got it open. It's starting to flame back up a little bit, so I'm gonna get this closed off, and we're gonna get back to this in just a minute. So we was still rolling at 145 is now our temp. We're good. We pretty much dropped down to probably about 320 with those few that we got left. So I'm about to get this off of here, throw it on a plate in the microwave, and let it kind of hang out for a second. And I'm gonna pile these up. We're gonna sear this baby off, and we'll get a taste. So we got this baby on over my small little pile of coals. They not super duper hot, but they do got a nice little flame under there. We'll just give it a little bit more time. Normally what I'll do is about 1 minute on one side, flip it over to the other, and kind of look at it from there. So that's pretty much what we'll do. We'll peek at it in a minute. Definitely my little wood block did great. Like I said, definitely a solid trick. Get you a Sawzall. If you do got local wood, stuff like that, let it dry out. Make sure that's first and foremost. And then chop up you some little chunks. Sometimes you can use it over here with your Weber and get you some wood flavor and save your money. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna give this thing a minute and flip this thing around. Let you see the other side. Yeah, it's getting a nice little bit of color. That's that bottom side. I flipped this thing over. I went about a minute and a half, peeked at it at 1 minute. And then we're gonna do it again, and I'm gonna hit the sides. Alright, I spared you the time of me getting my sear on, but we got this thing all cleaned up, baby. All seared up, smelling great. I done already tasted what's on my fingers. Look at my crust. Let me get you in there. This was that top side. I didn't sear too hard. So at the end of the day, once this thing chills out, I'll be sitting at a nice and even 150, 55-ish, 52-ish, which is about where I like it. Good medium well. Hey, let me tell you something. This thing right here smells great. Still a little warm. I ain't gonna take too much time to let this chill out, but sometimes duty calls. So at the end of the day, we had us a pretty smooth cook. I'm gonna rotate this baby around, let you get a good peek at it all the way through. It took us roughly about an hour. I wasn't really chasing the temperatures, but we stayed actually pretty steady between 330, went down to 320, rolled it on out, gave it a little bit of a sear, and check us out. And we got that beautiful crust. I love that redness and that color that we got in here. So this is what we're gonna do. Just like the tomahawk, just got a shorter bone. We're gonna start with the bone. I'm just gonna cut right along that groove. Pardon my shaking y'all up a little bit. And get this bone up out of here. All right. From there, we're gonna kind of get away that tail. Boom, set that to the side. It's juicy too. It is juicy. And we're gonna cut off this beautiful part right out here. That is your juiciest and most flavorful part of your actual ribeye is this outside right here. The spinalis. And then in the middle, you got the good old fashioned. That's the heart right there. That's the eye of it all. That's the eye of it. I'll trim that off just a little bit. It's got a little fat on that. A little something I can taste. Wow. All right. This ain't all supposed to be going down right now. But you know we got this thing up here for a reason. See what we look like. That's perfect. That's it. For me, I was looking for a medium well. I know that is butchering it to the majority of you out there. You're probably more in the medium rare to medium category. But for me, that's what I'm looking for. Hopefully you got a good view of that. I can see a little bit of that smoke penetrated. And I got me a little bit of a ring going around there. And still got me a lot of moisture and juice as it's already starting to saturate this board, but it's not all running out of here. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut me let's spin this baby around just a little one quick before I spin it all the way around, chop this thing all the way up. I just want a little something to taste, just a little bit. You see that right there? Bring it in there and there. Focus in. Cheers. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This came through. That brown sugar bourbon, okay. I like it. Let me chop this up. I'll spin it back around. We're gonna taste it again. I'll see you out and you know what's up. There you go, there's your peek of it up close, chimmed up. We're gonna taste that next. I want to taste some of that edge. We done had some of that. Check out that smoke. Yes, Lord. All right, I appreciate y'all hanging in there. I wanted to get a chance to flip this thing around and show you out the door properly like always. Hey, big shout out to my family, my boys over there with Black Smoke Barbecue, all my people that's been following along, and everybody that stuck along in this video today that's new. I appreciate everybody for being here. This thing here is amazing. I did say I was going to slide in there and get a little bit of that spinalis, so I want to make sure I do that. But overall, I want to say that once again, as I wanted to check in and try that salt brine or that dry salt brine on the steak, that thing is a home run hitter. Really, really like that. You're definitely going to see that more in my future. We're going to see if we can't get a classic steak knocked out before it's said and done as well. Stay tuned for that one. Little easy job that we had to do today on that old Weber. You can't go wrong with that. Smooth and easy. Steak night. Let's get something done. Get out there in the grill and cook something, man. As my man at BKC Cooks always say. With that said, let me taste this. By far, that was a better bite than what I got out of the eye. Super tender, super flavorful. This brown sugar bourbon is good. I've been sleeping on this. I literally had this in the cabinet for a long time. Never did anything. Basically, all we did was salt it. Came with some black pepper, like always. Got us a good crust. And this right here tastes a lot different on the meat. And it's subtle, but I really like it. With that said, catch me next week. You know we got another one. Peace. Let me try that again. I got a little choked up. Peace.